We are here today with Loren Bouchard. He is the creator of Bob's Burgers. Loren, how are you doing, and how is your San Diego Comic-Con going?
It's going great. It is. This is the. If you're in my line of work, this is where you come to get really, really, truly validated, and you fill up that cup for the rest of the year. Comic-Con is where you sort of are reminded why you do what you do.
So what is the inspiration behind Bob's Burgers? What inspired you to write it, and with the characters and everything? Just can you give us a little bit more information about how this came to be?
Sure. I love families that run restaurants. I always have been fascinated when you walk into a pizza place or a little Greek restaurant and there's a kid behind the counter mopping up or wrapping up a sandwich to go. I've always been fascinated with that. And Fox, when they were when we were just getting to know each other, it was very clear that a show about a family would be what they were looking for. They were very much in that business and still are. And I love, so it was a natural to pitch an idea that basically was a family comedy and a workplace comedy.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit more about, I guess, the inspiration of the characters?
Yes, it's easy. The characters come from the actors. I knew who I wanted to be in the show before I even know who they were, if that makes sense. They're all cast first, and then we created the character to fit the actor, if that makes sense. I knew John Benjamin should be the dad. We knew John Roberts should be the mom. We knew Kristen Schaal should be the youngest child. We knew Eugene Merman should be her brother. And then with Dan Mintz, we added him as first a brother, an older brother, and then we changed him just before we made episode 1. We made him into a girl, but it was still Dan Mintz. It was still fit for Dan Mintz.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome. Now, I know your book or the TV show is a comic book, so how do you feel about that whole process now, getting out to comic book fans, seeing your work from the TV now transformed into a comic book? How does that whole process make you feel, and are you excited about it, and what else is going to be happening with it?
I love working on the comic book. We were nervous for about a minute because it felt like, oh God, it's hard enough to do a TV show. How do you do a comic book? It felt like we'd be almost kind of competing with ourselves in a funny way, not just for time and resources to work on the thing, but also just ideas. How do you don't want to take an idea that's been on the show and then it would feel secondhand if either one stole from the other. But then all the smoke cleared and all the anxiety went away when we realized we could use the comic book as almost the way we do the fantasy sequences on the show, where you really get to sort of see almost inside the minds of the characters. So the comic book is kind of it's almost as if it's written by the characters on the show, and that changed everything. All of a sudden we knew how to do the book, and it's been a pleasure to work on. We really like doing it. We're learning how to make a comic book as we go. A lot of the artists that work on the show, work on the comic book as well, and some of them have worked in the comics industry and really know their stuff, and so that's good. We can kind of lean on them graphically, but in terms of the writing, we're just trying to do something that's true to the show, but can exist alongside the show and not feel stale and sort of just crapped out.
Well, I know I personally love the comic and the show,
Good.
So it's awesome to see both the two different ones, and like you said, the different inside the minds of the characters. That's awesome. Can you give us any, details about anything new coming out, or when's the show going to be coming back?
Show's coming back September 27th, I think, is our fall premiere. Comic book's out now. We're doing 14 new issues. I keep calling them episodes. You can tell where I'm coming from. The album comes out September 25th. The soundtrack album, yeah. Make sure you, comics fans, we want you to check out the music too.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
And the cookbook comes out in the spring.
Oh, the cookbook.
Yeah.
Of all Bob's recipes?
All Bob's recipes.
Awesome. We'll be on the lookout for that. So thank you so much for being with us today and for coming and doing signings.
Pleasure.
We hope you have a great rest of your San Diego Comic-Con.
Same to you.